Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of According to Sacha Podcast. You know, we're here with you on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with brand new guests. We have some amazing guests. Oh my gosh, you guys, we do have some amazing guests that graces our presence with their presence, you know. So I just want to say thank you to all of you out there for always showing up for my guests and for myself. But what you do for us here at According to Sacha Podcast, you do for all of my guests. So we thank you. And so, but you know what we have to do, right? We got to like, follow, and share. Like, follow, and share all of our platforms. We're scrolling down the bottom. You know where we are. We're right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and we're also on Spotify, iHeart, Amazon. The list goes on. We're there. We're everywhere. And so I want to thank you for always following, always liking, always sharing, always downloading. Everything that you do, I really do appreciate it. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so tonight we have a special guest. Now, you know, for me, I work with entrepreneurs, right? I work with entrepreneurs and I work with creatives, but I'm also a creative myself. So I'm not just a business owner. I'm not just always being analytical and logical all the time, but I am a creative too. So I have the best of both worlds. But tonight I have a creativepreneur with us. Her name is Patrecia Moore. She has her production company called Patrecia Speaks. So, but she's here tonight. It's going to talk about what she's doing in her world, what she's doing in film. We're going to talk about the business behind the creativity, all those things that, you know, I love to talk about. And so we're going to have a good conversation. So all of you out there that are watching, whether you're in film, whether you're a producer, whether you're an artist, whether you're an actress, actor, whatever, whoever you are, if you're on the creative side, video, production, anything, everywhere, you want to tune in, even authors, like you want to tune in tonight because we're going to talk about it, all right? And then in a little bit after I play my sponsors video, I'm going to bring Patrecia up here and we're going to go ahead and get into this conversation. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and dive on in and I'll be back with Patrecia.
Warning signs your body is giving you? Do you sometimes feel the need to act like everything is okay and that you don't need help? Are you facing some tough physical and mental health challenges that you just don't know how to face on your own? We created the Men's Empowerment Group as a safe place where men can share their thoughts and challenges while also receiving judgment-free advice from their fellow group members. You no longer have to pretend that everything is okay. It is okay to not be okay. This free forum provides discussions related to financing, health, relationships, and other struggles that men face in their everyday lives. There are 1 hour-long weekly sessions in addition to the open forum, where you can learn from others every Monday at 7 p.m. Please check us out, www.abundancelegacy.org to register.
Entrepreneurship, small business, is something that everybody would love to do, making their own money. And this is what we will be talking about on According to Sacha. Hey, Patrecia, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I am good. I am happy to be here. I'm happy that you're here. Thank you for gracing us with your presence tonight.
Yes, I'm glad that we've connected and I'm able to do this just to give people a little insight on what happens behind the scene of all the glamour of filming and, you know, all that. So.
Oh, all that. So you know what? She's dropping it already. You know what we're about to get into, you guys. We're about to get into this conversation. But before we do, I want you to tell everyone out there, who is Patrecia Moore?
Patrecia Moore is a girl from Eastern North Carolina. I say North Carolina. I was in Charlotte for 10 years, but I am from Aurora, North Carolina. That's like 30 miles east of Greenville, North Carolina, maybe something like that. So I'm from the sticks. However, I was a girl who saw something different for her life and I wanted to do something different. And so I'm the risk taker that took a chance and stepped out. So that's who Patrecia Moore is. And now my goal is to open those doors and pave the way for others, just to show them, if I did it, you can do it too.
Awesome. So let's talk about some of these risks that you took that put you in this motion of being different. So
okay. I start by calling myself a creativepreneur. It took a while to kind of put a label on it because for me, I was in a public accounting firm, like one of the big six. I was working there, comfortable, cushy job, but I didn't feel fulfilled. And I knew I had this creative side that I wanted to branch off into. So it started with fashion design in 2016. And I was like, I wanted to do a fashion show. So what I did was I kind of produced and put together my own show. This is my show. This is my launch. I'll do it myself. And then that picked up and I was able to jump on and get involved in other shows around Charlotte. Then COVID hit. And I always was a low-key writer. Like I say low-key because people didn't really know that I like made and wrote poems here and there or just like short things. But like I said, back to, COVID hit. I was in LA and I took my fashion to the set as a set designer, wardrobe person. I actually started as a PA on set and an extra because I know you've asked before, was I ever an actress? No, but I was an extra. But that was my way to get on set. Mm-hmm. And it came full circle from me bringing what I loved to set and kind of merging that with my storytelling. And it kind of came full circle and got me to where I am right now.
Wow, that's good. So how was the transition from going from corporate life? I mean, you won't just in corporate, you were like a public accounting.
Yes.
Yes. So you're in that world. What was it like?
I learned a lot. I appreciate corporate because it showed me how to work with different types of people, how to meet deadlines effectively, and how you need to have some type of guidelines in place when you're executing anything. Mm-hmm. I found a lot of creatives have huge ideas, but a lot of them fall short on the execution of those ideas. But I think coming from corporate America, we have to execute because our job depends on it. Mm-hmm. So we kind of get trained on that side of things. So we have the ideas and we know how to execute. So it kind of gives us the best of both worlds with that. And I'm still in corporate America because, I literally just logged off before this because corporate America is funding my dream right now. But yeah, I learned a lot just as far as working with people and how to do business because that's where a lot of creatives fall short.
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack there. The first thing I want to kind of touch on what you said was, how that corporate life is paying for your dream. Like a lot of times people will be, say, okay, I have this business. I'm ready to just leave the job and go full time in my entrepreneurship world, my small business. But, sometimes it does kind of, you got to learn how to balance it. You got to have time management. You got to have the discipline and everything like that. But there, are the perks of having a corporate job because when you're thinking about how you're going to fund your business, how you're going to fund that creative business or whatever it is that you're doing, to have that steady income coming in and you can like not worry about like what's your next bill going to get paid or whatever like that because you have the money and you have your benefits. Right. So I always like to call it your benefits package is your corporate. Your real job is your business, but your benefits package is your corporate work, And then touching in on the creativepreneur part of it, when you said that you finally embraced it and put a label on it. So let's use that as that opener to kind of dive in because that is a very essential and important part of that business aspect is understanding the mindset of it, understanding how to circulate and flow. So what was it for you to really say, you know what, I'm a creativepreneur?
Because I initially, even before fashion design, I stepped out and I was like, I'm going to start this blog. I'm going to attend these events around Charlotte and I'm going to blog about them. And then I've always liked the fashion part. So it kind of turned into that. Now you're a fashion designer. I think I call myself a creativepreneur because I don't want to be boxed in. Because when you often find when you step out in one genre of things, this is what you're seen as. Yeah. And I'm Gen X, so we were raised to be, they say you can be jack of all trades, master of none. So I struggled with that, right? Like I could do this, but I could do that. And it's like, well, what do you want to be known for? So I sit with that and I struggled with that for years. And I'm like, I'm an entrepreneur, but I like to invest in the creatives. So whether it be someone that's writing a book. If I have insight on people who can help you get it published, or insight on you self-publishing, I can look into that. Yeah, my goal is literally to be the plug for those creatives, but they have to put the work in, and then I meet them with that business side. So that's why I'm saying creativepreneur as opposed to just entrepreneur, because I find more joy in investing in that creative side, because they don't often get support. It's hard to get support as a creative. Nobody don't want to hear your album. They want to know that you're going to work, or that, they don't want to hear your album. Like, they don't really care about that stuff. So I want to make that priority for me, because I think ultimately we are creatives as a people. And I think we have a lot of talent that's not seen. Mm-hmm. So I want to be like helping people bring that talent to the forefront.
Yeah. And I love the way you talked about, especially being a Gen Xer, of course,
Yes.
Me too. And, we're trained a little differently,
Yes.
and so it's like now, the narrative is, and for some people it probably does work, but the narrative is you have to niche down, you have to focus on one thing, you have to do these things, but when you're coming from a world like our world, we're used to multitasking, we're used to, saying, okay, yeah, we can make do out of any and everything, because our mindset is different, our bring up is a little bit different, and so forth. But one of the things that I do, I don't like niching down. I would tell people easily, I niche accordingly, because
there you go.
If I niche down, then I'm putting talent on the table. I'm taking it off the table, actually.
Yeah.
And in so many ways, it can bring another stream of income in for me. Okay. But what I like to tell people is, you want to, when you're niching accordingly, you still want to make sure that your foundation, if people see that message, your foundational message is always going to be the same, but you can tap into every little aspect you could tap into. So like for me, my motto is the foundation of every industry is business. And so I work with entrepreneurs and business, strategic business practices and startup and so forth, pivot and growth. So my world is like, hey, if you're being transactional, you're bringing in money and income, and you're executing certain things, then you are my client. You're an entrepreneur, no matter what space or industry you're in.
Right.
And so, and I think that when people look at it like that, they can kind of get away, if it serves them, they could get away from, having to say, oh, I got to niche down. I can't just, tap into this because this is not my ultimate message or whatever. Like, go in the rooms that you can navigate in.
Exactly.
If you can navigate those rooms and you could do it well, like the back of your hand, then that means do it. That's how I look at it. Do it with the strategy, of course.
Right.
But, you want to make sure that you're not leaving anything on the table. And so with you talking about being a creativepreneur and, helping other creatives really tap into that mindset, because it really is a mindset shift first.
It is. It's definitely that.
So in your experience in working with other creatives, like, how hard has it been to help shift that mindset?
Really hard, because they are 24-hour creatives, and that's fine, because for me, it's certain times of day where I'm in my creative mode. But for me, with helping just pure creatives, is making sure your paperwork is done, making sure you have these releases in place, making sure you have permission to use these people's images, making sure your work is copywritten so people won't take your work, So it's those little things that I always think, like business and legality, coming from the corporate tax world, it has me looking at that first and foremost. And if you have those things in place, that's like your foundation. So once you have your foundation, you can do anything you want, because you are covered legally. Ain't nobody gonna try to come steal the ownership or anything like that. So I want to make sure those bases are covered, and then we can just grow from there. It's just a matter of, now you have that freedom to just move. So when I'm working with people, I definitely look at that first. Like, oh, you about to shoot this video? Well, you need these models for this photo shoot. You have to, I'm the one with the folder bringing release forms, because we don't want any pushback, especially now in this world of social media. It's even more prevalent now than before. We have to make sure that, the creatives know the means of how to navigate the business world. Because I have found that out. A lot of them don't even realize the effective communication of sending an email. Yeah. And that's just because I've learned as well that we were taught different just in school and in college. Like, we learn differently now. That's not even a priority item. for even universities, you know. But I do make sure that those that I work with know how to send an effective email.
Yeah. That makes a big difference on everything. It's just like, you know, really looking at not just the mindset of thinking like an entrepreneur, you know, when you're in that creative space, but understanding the business why. You know, we always have a why behind something. It's like, what is the business why behind what you do? Like you said, if you're dealing with models and you got release forms, where if you're a music producer or if you're an artist, you know, you want to get that contract from the producer just because they said, oh, I got this beat, I'm gonna get. No, go ahead and get that contract. Go ahead and get that agreement. You know, do the legalities and everything, because at the end of the day, you might be leasing a beat and never know.
There you go.
And the next thing you know, you got somebody else out there with the same beat, but you can't do anything about it because neither one of you are in contract. But then you have somebody who might buy it. And that's how
they're gonna benefit from it. So it's like, wait, that was my stuff. What's going on? It's not. Then you can say, because you like, oh, I forgot. Like, that's really important.
Because the next thing you know, you hear about it in court, and it's all in the news and all this other stuff. Because I think one of the biggest case studies I always would reference is there was a Virginia artist, Dram, and
I know Dram. Yeah, I know.
And so a few years back. And both, it was like the Hotline Bling, and it was another song. It was a song that Dram had. Both of them had the exact
Broccoli. Yes, I love Dram. Yep,
the exact same beat. And so, you know, and me and my friends would get into the conversation. I was like, clearly there was a lease beat situation, but one of them actually ended up buying the beat. But when you're leasing that, you know, when you're in that lease mode, you don't think about it. You know, you don't think about it. But then the next, you know, you're doing well. Dram was doing well that summer. Drake was doing well. So it's like, who's going to win this thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's so many different things that, you know, when you talk about the legalities, when you think about, and that's the thing with creatives, they're not thinking. There's so much thinking about, this is what I hear, especially with music artists. This is what I hear. This is what the lyrics is coming out. This is the sound. This is perfect. But everything else just goes to the wayside, because the only thing they want to do is just get it out there. You know, and seeing you're big, and you know, you did the fashion design, and you're also doing film.
Yes.
So tell me about that. Like, what have you seen even in that industry as far as like indie film producers and so forth?
It's been a lot. I just do want to recommend to people, invest in your craft. If you want to be a writer, call yourself a writer. Don't say aspiring anything. One of my favorite producers told me that. She said, you're not aspiring nothing. If you're doing it, then you do it. But I want to go further and say, invest in it. So I knew I wrote, but I was more like a book club person or a story writing person. I'm like, how do I want to learn about screening? So guess what I did? I got into a class of screenwriters. So I met with them weekly, like starting last year. So I got involved with screenwriting. I paid for a director's workshop. It wasn't thousands of dollars, but it was an amazing investment. So I'm going to recommend people invest in their craft. But again, with the film, you still have to make sure you have that foundation, because I've learned, even with this short film that I'm putting out, I had a scene that I may have to cut because of licensing. Like, you know, you're thinking just a little Google search might just be that. It's just like, hold up, wait a minute, what are we using it for? So it's always that piece of, hold on. So it's always that piece of business, and that business, again, it's the entertainment business. And that's what I want to push to people. You can have the most brilliant creatives in the world, but it's the entertainment business. It's the music business. There's always that business word behind it. And I did like your book that you wrote when we, you know, you talked about your book when we met like a year ago at the writers conference. It was like, that's a fact. Everything is business. It comes back to making sure that all your I's are crossed. I mean, all your I's are dotted, all your T's are crossed. So even with film and this experience, you have to invest in your craft and work at it. It takes effort and time, even if you have a day job. So it's like you have two jobs now. Don't think it's just easy, because all they see is the glory and the nice part on the outside. No, man. Like, that's not even realistic. You're going to be up late nights. You're going to sleep, because I recommend rest for everybody, but you're going to be on it. Like, if this is what you want to do and you're passionate about it, you have to be on top of it to really make it happen. Because I know a lot of creatives who aren't really escalating or moving forward because they don't have the guidance on how to do that. So I'm like, those are the people that I want to help. And just to show them, just because you come from where we come from doesn't mean anything. Like, you know, you make a way and you get out there, network, and put yourself out there to make it happen. So that's pretty much how I ended up where I am now with filmmaking.
Okay.
And it's been an amazing experience. Like I said, I started with writing. I wrote, produced, and directed my short film.
Mm-hmm.
And being that I've produced fashion shows and photo shoots, I was like, okay, let me just keep producing, you know. So I'm actually helping people bring their vision forward and producing on their, you know, their scripts that they may have. So I'm working with other people on their projects now. So that's pretty much, but I do have my own projects. So now it's a time management thing, because I'm like, we got to get set times because I got my own projects, because you still got to make sure you don't, you know, you feed into your own vision while you're helping bring that income in, because it takes money to do anything out here. Like, yeah.
That is so true. That is so true. You got to have that balance. And that's one thing when you say you have two jobs, like you have two full, if you're going to work your corporate world or whatever, you have two full-time jobs. There is no such thing. Well, I take that back. I was going to say there's no such thing as a little small side business. If you're putting all your energy and time in that second business, oh no, that's another full-time business that you got, that you're running. And you know, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Like you said, you have that discipline. You got to have that time management, because you got to bring money in, but you also have your dreams and your goals too. So you have to make sure you have that balance, so all of that is not robbing you. And I, you know, I love this conversation because I identify with you so much, because even in my world, or, you know, especially in the past, I was that one that kept giving, and then my stuff kept getting on the side. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, as long as I'm doing this over here, I'm good. I'll get to my stuff. But it's just like, I had to do that shift where, you know, my stuff is get done too. You know, I shouldn't, you know, put one on a higher pedestal than the other.
Exactly.
Both should go up at the same time. If I'm helping you, I got to help myself just as much. And we're both moving. So I understand your position there.
Right. For sure. It's a lot. And it's just, it's balancing. And it's also just making sure you prioritize your rest. I've learned that as well from, you know, you got to talk about that corporate burnout that can happen. But I had to get back in it because I needed this money to fund my dream. So I took a break, but, you know, so those breaks are important as well. So I think people should make sure if they start to feel exhausted or tired, just step away for a little bit, but don't forget, you know, your goal and what you're working toward in the meantime.
That is so true. So let's talk about this project you're working on.
I'm excited about
Yes, let's talk about it. So what's the name of it?
It is called Rapture. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm so excited about it because to see something go from a piece of paper to actually being filmed, and you have crew and you're able to pay the crew, it was just like mind blowing. Like, it was great. So don't get me wrong. Us being where we're from, we're used to doing more than one job. So I'm writing, I'm directing, I produced, but I'm also assisting with art department. So we did the set dressing, and I'm also location scouting over here. And we're also casting directing, like, you know, and I was blessed because my sister was here and my family, my son's here. So they were like on it. Like, they're like, hey, what you need? Like, you good? So they would check on me. So that family makes a difference as well. But when I tell you, they said, Londi, Women of Color filmmaker, the founder of that, I want to give a shout out to her. She said that we have to learn how to be the chief cook and bottle washer. I was literally the chief cook and bottle washer. You know, I was shopping for props, like, so. But it was just amazing to see it come to fruition and to work with the editor and to get a finished product back that I can't wait to show. I'm excited about that. That'll be shown on the 31st of July.
Okay.
And will actually be a competition. So it's a film challenge with me and 10 other women. It was about 40 something people that submitted their concepts, and only 12 of us got picked. So I was like, oh, you know how you just submit, you like, let me see if this, and it stuck. And I was like, yo, this is good, you know? So, so my focus is pretty much telling our story our way, because everybody has a way of telling stories their different way. I'm from the Southeast, so my story gonna come out different than somebody from New York or somebody from Los Angeles or even somebody from Texas or Louisiana. We all have different experiences, and I think that shapes how we storytell. So this film is pretty much me combining, you know, we Southern, combining what our spiritual beliefs are with things that can get out of hand if they go awry, So
yeah,
I'm really excited about showing people my first body of work. I can't believe I threw all these elements in one short film. It literally may be 8 minutes. I threw a lot of parts in 8 minutes. We do that too. We step out and I'm like, it's hard to record one scene, a Zoom call. Like it's it's way more complex, but we just threw it out there and I'm like, I'm in it now. So hey, let's see what happens.
Well, you know what, y'all, I hope that you're enjoying this conversation with Patrecia, and we're talking about all things creative, creativepreneurs, film, the whole, everything shebang works, whatever it is. Like, we got a good conversation going on, but I got a teaser for you guys. So we're going to show you a little small trailer of the short film Rapture. And then we'll go ahead and play it. We're going to keep each other up here. I'm just going to throw it in.
I'll meet the perfect guy who's absolutely crazy about me. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me, Mr. Hines.
Oh, of course. Call me Rashad.
We're gonna have to conjure up a man or something at the rate you're going.
Stop lying to me!
Yes, so I must say, so because of my creative self, and I'm a movie buff, one thing I'm going to say is I love the clarity of the video, the quality of your cinematography. Yes,
and she was the woman. I was so excited. I had another lady DP. It was so exciting.
Yes. See, I know my people out there watching. They like, hold on, Sacha talking like what? There's a whole nother side, you guys. I keep trying to tell you, like, I switched this hat around like a swivel. We go around. So your cinematography is very, very good. I love it. And even the scoring of the music, how you got that it just goes in just right away. So, and it's like for an indie project, for a short film. I just love all that. So that's just my points on that part. And but it does leave you like, okay, the first time when I was loading everything in and I was watching it, I didn't even see the whole sage going around part. And I was like, hold on. I see.
Yes.
So yeah.
So those listeners who are here can get just a little input real quick. We had a word to write around. We all had a topic. It was called plethora. So even though it was 10 or 11 of us that actually is going to be showing, we each have a different script based on that one word, plethora. And this is 2023, and we have we all raised in a church, but nowadays everybody is all on YouTube and Google, and it's just like, are you sure so we just I'm like, let me throw that in there. We from the South, let's just talk about it, let's put it out on the table nowadays. So that's what I did with this. Just be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. That's just a life fact.
And I love the whole typing part, because it was just like and what you're about to witness is, what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay. Yeah. I love that. Because even in that, it just came together for me so fast. And one of the things I love about movies, like I said, I'm a movie buff. I always love the title heard in the movie.
I could talk about
like a movie will never end without you knowing or without you hearing the name of that movie in the script.
Yes.
And so, and I think, and that could be another thing too, because like, with us being Gen Xers, in high school, we had literary. We had literary class. So you had your English and you had literary.
I didn't like the class, but I did good in it. It was just like, I was a math person. It was like, but it's crazy. Right.
Right. So it's like, we had the Macbeths that we had to read. We learned about plots. We learned about all of these things that you will find actually in the concept of movies and how you direct and produce. And so, so that's why I'm just like, when I watch movies, it's like watching a trailer, and I saw all those pieces coming together, and I was like, okay,
that was the goal. And when you think about the title Rapture, it's like caught up in the rapture. I work based on music. I'm not gonna lie, I have a playlist. So when I was working on the film, I throw my Rapture playlist on. So we got Baker up in there. I wish I could license Nina Simone but I didn't. I was like, can't license her for this one. But it's just like the rapture of things. You get caught up in this love and you think everything you're doing is right, but it's really not. But you caught up in the rapture of it all. So that's where I got the title from, Caught Up in the Rapture of Love. And that's what this character was, caught up in the rapture. Yep.
Awesome. Are you going to get the song license with Anita Baker?
I have not looked out to that yet, but it's possible because we're going to submit the festivals after this challenge. And I'll make sure that I share with you via email the link for the viewing, because they have in person, but also virtual. It's a virtual competition. They can sit online as well. So yeah, I'm excited. And the women of color filmmakers, the not-for-profit, they're supporting all of this. So I'm excited. Like, this is really real. Like, people have to understand, when they see me, they see the person that I am now. But you got to realize I'm from Aurora. Like, I say that all the time. Like, I'm from the sticks. They're like, where are you from? The sticks. Right. And I just stepped out and took these risks. Has it been easy? No. It's been a lot of setbacks. But you just keep forcing, because for me, it's like, if not me, then who?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We have somebody out here. Is it Tanisha?
Yeah, that's my cousin. Hey, girl, she's online.
She's so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited for you too. I'm excited for you. It's just like when you meet people and you see the things that they're doing and what they're going through and how they're, it's challenges, it's risky, it's everything. But when you, like you said, when you see that dream come together and it all plays out, you can just imagine, like, okay, when you win this competition or you go into the film, I was like, okay, are you going to Sundance? Are you going to put it in?
Listen, I'm trying to go to you do all of it. Listen, yeah, and I have projects lined up. Yeah, I have projects lined up behind this, because I'm just like, it's opening doors, and I think that's why these opportunities keep becoming available. I think you bring your authentic self. Number one, we learn it in corporate. Bring you. If they love you, they love you. They love what you know, and they love what you can do. So continue to bring your authentic self wherever you go. Like, it's not about a code switch. It's not about that. It's about bringing you. The same treats they get here or back home is the treats they're going to get in the office. It's just what it is. And the same treats on set. So as long as you do that and stay the course, because it's going to get hard, but just stay the course. So I'm trying to be on a stage somewhere as well. I'm trying to tell our stories. And I think that's why God keeps opening doors, because it's not just about me. I'm opening doors that people that where I'm coming from may not always have been able to kick open. So I'm like, I'm here. Let me go see what's going to happen. Like, it's a risk, and I get prepped and have to put a face on and get ready. Like, let me go get ready to network. But it's necessary. Like, we have to get out there and network. We have to.
Yeah, and you said the key word is about, it's your purpose and your vision is so much greater than you. There are other people, whether it's your community or people you're connecting with, or however, there's somebody else that's out there, that has a dream, and you never know who's going to be looking up to you, or you're somebody's role model, whether they ever make it known or not. And to say, like you said, Aurora. I have never heard of Aurora.
I was like, well, I was in Charlotte for 10 years before I came here, but I'm originally from Aurora. And I'm like, looking up on the map. Got to look on the map. Yeah, that's me. That's where I'm from. The sticks.
I was like, the only Aurora I heard was Aurora, Illinois, or something like that.
Aurora, Colorado. I'm like, no, Aurora, North Carolina, 252. Like, yeah, that's where I'm 252. I kept my 704 because I just ain't want to change my number since I've been out here. I'm like, I'm still North Carolina. I'm holding on to that 704 area code. Like, let's be clear. Like, I'm out here, but I'm not from here. I still bring my state with me, my town with me. Like, I carry that because there's a lot of talent, but it's not seen. So I'm like, we got to show that. Like, come on, y'all. If you got the work ethic, I got you. Like, let's see what we can do. I mean, yeah, that's what my goal is overall.
That's awesome. So if there were like, your cousin.
Oh yeah, my cousin. Yeah, she's online.
She's shouting you out. You are built for this, which I do believe. I believe that you are, because you're in position to do things not just for yourself, but for so many other people. And when you see that, especially when your heart is always centered around how can you help someone else, then of course you're built for it. It might come with a couple of punches and all those things. You might have to take a time out. But you get back into it and you do your thing, you keep moving. So if I know you've dropped a lot of wisdom nuggets tonight.
Mhm.
So if there was someone who was, wanted to, let's just talk about the film part, that wanted to really take what they're doing. They're a writer, by nature, and they want to take to the next steps. What are your top 3 steps for those who want to get into film?
Number 1, invest in your craft.
Mm-hmm.
You have to invest in your craft, whether it's taking it to the next level. If you're writing at home, that's cool, but you need to invest in, if not college, at least a workshop. That's step 1. Step 2 is continue to work on it. Like you're learning more, but continue to hone in on that craft. And step 3, network. Yeah. You have to network. We know who we know. We don't know who we don't know, but let's go out and meet those people. Like, I didn't know you from nobody, but I was like, hey, you know what? You're going to organically mesh with people that you're supposed to be in line with. And I agree. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, that's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, because even when we were in LA at the Creative Con, because you came up.
I was there. I was like, hi. For sure.
Yeah, and a connection is everything. When you be able to see and you just move from it, and we've been connected since then. And I know we'll do more, coming up as well too. Yeah. So, and I'm glad to have you here. And I'm also going to drop your, I know we're going to close out shortly, but I'm going to put in your IMDB.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I promise I did not realize how many IMDB credits I had. And when I look back at those films, I'm like, people don't understand. I didn't just go on set doing wardrobe. I was taking out the trash, but you have to be willing. That's why I said those 3 things: invest in yourself, be willing to put the work in, and network. Those 3 things has carried me this far. I was taking out trash on set. I was in there gagging because I'm like, this is disgusting. But I had to, it was part, and I'm 40 years old. So don't think you're too old to do it, because you're still starting from the bottom as well. So don't think you're too good to do anything. So I do want to make sure they don't.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and I love, like we talked about before, I love the fact that you did do your IMDB, because a lot of people don't think about that. Sometimes they'll think about when they go and start doing bigger things. Oh yeah, I got to do this, but you want to start from the beginning. The first thing that you do,
yes,
you want to go ahead and do that, because that helps build your credibility, your digital footprint. And it's like your resume, another place that you can put your resume and market yourself.
That is actually great, because I actually so now I've learned how to add people's IMDb. So I'm encouraging, like, if you're on my film, you got an IMDb, go log in, update your photo, because I found that's how people look for people to work with them. They go to IMDb and they research. I'm like, so I'm letting everybody know that's been on set with me. You're logged now in IMDb. Go update your profile, put your contact information, all that stuff, so people can see who you are and what you can do. So
yeah, and just here's the nugget for everyone else too, because IMDb is not just for major producers or actors and actresses. It's for everyone. So if you're in video production,
exactly.
If you have a form of video editing out there, you want to set it up. It's almost like LinkedIn for entertainment.
That's exactly what it is. And there are jobs up there as well. Like, I haven't used it to utilize the job part, but there is, jobs you can apply for up there as well. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you for being here. You shared so much tonight.
I really enjoyed it. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. This is the first time I've really sat and just talked about my experiences. But yeah, I just want to share. And if anybody, have any questions, they can feel free to reach out. Like, I'm an open book, because I'm not, a lot of gatekeepers out here, and I'm not gatekeeping. We're trying to share, yeah.
And that's how you grow. That's how you grow, and you grow together, because sometimes what, you can share with somebody else, somebody can share something different with you, and it just be that, that plug-in that goes between 2 different people or a group of people. And that's how we do it. That's
there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody, I have Patricia's contact information. Like, she is everywhere. She's on IG, Facebook, TikTok, and of course we already talked about IMDb, but definitely go follow her. Follow her progress. Check her out for the Rapture as she continues to post more things about the competition and how far she's going. I believe she might go to the end, but y'all want to be there. Follow her, because you never know how soon. Because I'm gonna say it's gonna happen.
Look, like, listen, it's happening. We just gotta see, like, what's the spark that's gonna take, because we stepping out here, like,
right.
you know, everybody else put their people on. We about to do the same thing. Like, come on, y'all. What y'all about to do? Right. Let's go.
So then,
right.
y'all saw her here.
First, yes.
On According to Sacha Podcast, when you see her on Entertainment Tonight and, walking that red carpet somewhere or whatever, remember y'all saw her here first. So this is the time right now is when you see people in the beginning phases of the glory of what they're going to be. This is when you tap in. You tap in right now. Somebody else chimed in.
Brandy. She got to call it
Brandy. So 8:30. I don't know, Brandy. That's like that's pushing it. But definitely, hopefully, your call. Well, you chime in anyway. As long as you come on afterwards, then you're all good.
I will for sure.
And
we'll definitely stay in contact. Yeah, because I'm gonna need some guidance on some other things that I have going on for sure that I can't always manage. And I've learned that too. Ask for help. Like you can't do everything. I'm just saying you can't. You got to have a team and support. You can't do everything by yourself. Trust me.
So true. So true. Yep. So true. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. And close us out with like a favorite quote or words of wisdom.
Okay. My favorite quote is progress is not always pretty. That is my favorite quote.
Awesome. Yeah. Y'all heard that?
Yeah.
Y'all heard that.
That's the grit. You got to get in the grit. It's gritty for me. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the best part, because it helps you to remember, and progress is, you said progress is never pretty.
Progress ain't always pretty.
Ain't always pretty. That's, it's not. But at the end,
yes,
it's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate our conversation.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And everybody, thank you for watching. If you're watching on a replay, just hashtag replay. Let me know that you're here. If you're listening, thank you so much. Thank you. And remember to command your day and be great in everything you do. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Great. Thank you.